Oh, you're back. I was worried there for a second. Welcome back to Game with Plays Hexen. I'm sure you know, we're going right back to the Heresiarch Seminary. Heresiarch Seminary. What do you have to say for yourself?
Worship me, and I may yet be merciful. Then again, maybe not.
Is that supposed to convince me, though? You want me dead either way. I feel like I have no choice but to oppose. Oh yeah, lightning's gonna be useful for getting those corner serpents. Everyone's got corner serpents. Aha! Surprise! I can go around the side. Magic versus magic. Who will win? The magic, of course. The magic always wins. It's always weird if magic's a game mechanic where it's just do whatever the fuck you want. And it's just like, okay. It's not like it has to make sense. It's kind of like frankincense. A little too early for that. And he's frozen the shield guy. Hope he likes it. Oh yeah. You're better off using the ice blast on the mages, for real. That actually works pretty fucking good. That way, if they're about to scoop to the side, you'll still hit them. And they tend to be in groups, so yeah. I would suggest freezing the mages. It's not like they take a lot of hits anyway. They're more attack-oriented than defense-oriented, just like the mages. Wow. This pretty much sums you up right here. It's like, I see that guy really far away while there's like some common enemies like hitting me in the face. Who cares? I'm going for the snipe. Do you want to save? Make sure you save. Make sure you see the light in the darkness. If you have a torch, I'd use it here in case the light doesn't go back on, but it will. You gotta get there. I don't know what sides what triggers the lights, but they're on now. Oh boy, it's just what I've always wanted. A mage supreme. The smorgasbord. We are the smorgasbord. We will add your restaurant meals and add them to our own menu. Resistance is tasty. Yeah, resistance is delicious. Indeed. The smorgasbord. I am the lobster of the smorgasbord. You shall join us in merriment and delights. Wow, that's a lot of noise. You know, it reminds me of the Phantom Tollbrook about that guy who sings about noise! That was also a very acid trip movie. I don't think I want to watch it again. And yet somehow, it just leads to it. You know what? I'm just gonna fling that somewhere on the telly. With only a torch. Because we all know everyone's carrying fire! I mean, what do you call a candle then? Also a torch. And you'd be like, fuck you. Torches and our candles. Roman candles aren't even candles. Because that's what they did. With the candles, the original fireworks. No, the original fireworks was something made in like 1000 AD. Maybe even earlier. Needless to say, guns are a very early invention if you're hoping to remove the world of guns. You know what's even earlier invention? Alcohol. So good luck with that. We as a people. We as a people. I get to smash that without any problems. Oh yes. Let me tell you about the time I smacked the glass with my magic wand and said, suck it! Suck it, noobs. I remember the first time I was called a noob. It was a RuneScape, so I should have known better than to play RuneScape. It was only like in between classes anyway. It's one of those things you're like, okay, I'm in middle school, I'm gonna play some random game on the internet, and that's what I'm gonna do. That's how I also learned about Newgrounds and some other shit. It's true, you know. So whenever I see The next generation of Newgrounds are like, wow, this is roller coaster. And like, it's been around for ages. I could say, I think there's 2 reasons for Newgrounds' newfound popularity. One of those things is, well, it can function as an alternative to YouTube if all you do is animation. And the other one is, you can do 18 plus stuff without having to worry about it. Yep. And that's why people use Newgrounds for their weirdly specific fetishes. I guess everyone needs that sometime. Just be careful. You'll never know what you'll find around the corner. Speaking of, what happened to Sheezy art? It was like DeviantArt, but not. Why do I know about DeviantArt? Well, because, I mean, if I'm looking for someone drawing something, it's kind of where I have to go. Usually. It really dependos on my friendos. Crystal vial. Upset stomach, diarrhea. Crystal vial. Speaking of, I'm in this between thing where it's just, I have no choice but to either go too much or go too little. Oh, I've pressed the equalizer. Hopefully that doesn't affect the mic. It shouldn't, because that's not the mic I'm using. There we go. Yeah, somehow I pressed my equalizer button. I really should just prevent that from ever happening, but I can't. Although that begs the question of why was I not randomly pressing the volume, and, well, I don't know. So just never mind. Why does that button have to be around anyway? The equalizer button. Yes, the ultimate equalizing of sound and circumstance and pomp! Psycho pomp and circumstance. Let's name a video that. Yeah, there's a title I'm never going to remember to use now. Great. Unless I did use it somewhere. Most likely I did. So in the future, if I use Psycho Pomp and Circumstance, tell myself I already thought of it. Oh, we got this guy. He's in front of this place that I'm not going into yet because I've seen the script. I made it! It's my script, damn it! That's not really a script. You know what's cool though is when people have these programs where they show you what buttons are being pressed on the keyboard, so you can see what it is I'm doing. It's really more fun for like, well, speed runs. Look at all the buttons being pressed just to see how it's physically possible. In fact, that's the best way to verify a speed run. Is to, well, make sure the buttons are all pressed. And then the other one is, yeah, you want to stop someone from cheating. First, you get the button sensories, make sure it matches the footage, and then check some, right? Believe me, there's a lot of cheating in speedruns, which, you know, it is easy to cheat, but the weirdest part are, you know, the people who cheat can't help you as good, but it's the people who are already good who cheat at speedruns they have to worry about because they could legitimately be good and you wouldn't know. It's a lot of the reason why bodybuilders use steroids. It's like, dude, you're already at peak physical condition. It's like you're already good at speedrunning and you lift weights. Do you really need the extra boost? It's like, I want to be the best of all time. It's just like it's a madness. It's a madness, I say. And while I sympathize, you just want to do your best possible. You really need to do it without any bad effects to yourself. So that's a PSA, I guess, of sorts. Don't cheat at speedrunning. Really don't need to. I feel like, since I don't speedrun anyway, it doesn't really bear repeating, but just don't, you know, there's professional standards for doing great things, which is why the standards exist. So you can be honest about it. You know, I'm not going to say I follow the rules and everything, but that's one of those things where it's like the spirit of competition should remain intact. Is that part of my belief system? I mean, maybe. A ludological belief system. The spirit of the game. You know, because of Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't think anyone has had the balls to make their username the King of Games. I don't intend to start that. Because that's not a monarchy. Behold, it is I, the King of Games. How dare you call yourself that? Oh, yes! Nah, but I would go with Gaming Renaissance, man. That's more sensible. And probably true. You be the judge. Many skills go together to formulate a single one. Oh yes, in this video I will get the blood scourge, where my blood gorges until it becomes burning from my veins. The veins that burn with dignity, relaxing is futility. Check out this utility, recording with simple screen recorder. That's what I use. It's really good. Whoever invented it, bless you. Or, yeah, I didn't know the... I mean, I did know the name. I just hadn't read the website in so long. Now, here's a fun thing I have to do with Handbrake, since we're on the topic of... Well, since I've done this game so many times now. And so I'm just going on the background information for you now. So I use Handbrake for the encoding, right? Now... there's a couple things you need to know about that as to how I use it. I can't use the GUI because the GUI seems to forbid upscaling. For some god-awful reason, it's just like, why would you want to do that? Don't do that. Well, guess what, buddy? I have a reason to upscale, because YouTube in its infinite wisdom wants to preserve more higher quality videos. The lower quality is, the even lower quality it gets, which doesn't ultimately make sense. But the only reason I need to upscale is so I can get 60 frames per second on everything. Because that's all I need. The other thing is I have to compile Handbrake manually. It doesn't even really have to be that manual. There's just one single configuration option that has to do with the AAC codec and how it's proprietary, even though the main one, the free one, suck. Like, I'm not even an audio file or anything, but I could hear the difference. I was able to tell this one time when I was recording Cosmos Cosmic Adventure very early on. So this is like, what? This is either 2013 or 2014. And I just noticed it didn't sound right after I was listening to it. And that's when I looked up the codec, because, you know, I'm just using AAC because, as far as I know, until we've accepted the MP5 WebM stuff, like, I don't know how ready my system is for MP5 stuff. I want it to be. Or what's that other thing they use with WebM? Like, do they use like an OGV or OGG or something? But either way, I haven't really stopped doing H.264 with AAC. I would like to try to use MP5 or H.265. But that wouldn't really change the audio codec now, would it? For these fucking MP4 files, right? You know. Of course, if we're up to most people, it'd be like, yeah, what's the video version of FLAC? The truth is, I don't think FLAC is meant to go with video, so use OGG, I guess? I suppose. Or use an MKV file type so you can have subtitles. Yeah, I know. But that's the video file type I recommend, is MKVs, for a lot of reasons. And one of those is being able to store your subtitles and edit them with no problem. Speaking of, do people still use Virtual Dub? I thought that stopped being relevant a while ago, but I guess people still use it. Or better yet, people are using Bandicam still. I'm like, dude, like, no. Like, Bandicam, the good thing about Bandicam, besides being free, for like 30 minutes or something. The good thing about that was just like, you know, it being relatively fast on low-end machines. So that's why I believe a lot of people were using it for a while. I know I was. This is well before, that was back when a Google Video was still a thing for like 1 or 2 years when I was fucking around with that, though. And that was back when encoding took me like a few days. We're not even talking about the video, we're talking about like the input for the program I'm using. Which, thankfully, I don't need to do it that way anymore. I just record directly from the video and hope my computer doesn't blow up. But this is getting less into my process and more into the history of. I don't exactly want to get to the history of gaming. I really don't. But yeah, I also recommend Anti-Micro for controller purposes. Any DOS platform I'm playing, I use Anti-Micro on it so I can use the controller with it. Highly recommend it. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, but I use a Logitech F310. The point is, I just need a throwaway 360 controller. I don't actually need anything beyond that. I'm sure you'll be fine with an Xbox One controller, but for some reason the PS5 controllers, I'm not really sure how well they work yet on the Linux operating system, so I have no idea. I don't intend to find out. But yeah, just sticking with the Xbox 360 replacements for now until I do my self part. As long as they still work, you know? I don't need anything. I guess the only downside of the 360 controller stuff is just how the joysticks feel, and joystick feeling is very important to a gamer, so, yeah. It's really not like the N64 analog stick, because, well, if that was better, there would be a lot of N64 games I could play better right now. It's very particular, but that was before we had mastered 3D movement on the console anyway, so, you know. I think that's why consoles had longevity for a bit there. It's like, oh, you're not the joystick on your computer's like, yes I do. You don't. We've had joysticks before. It's called flight joysticks. You're telling me it took you into 90-something? Yeah. Too bad. We were doing it with like Wing Commander and shit. I don't know what the hell you're thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking. No, you weren't. What about Descent? That came around the same time as this? Oh yeah. Alright, never mind. I still have a hard time believing people where it's just like, hey, you want to use a controller to play a first-person shooter? I'm just like, no. However, try doing it with a Wiimote, like with Metroid Prime. I think that might actually work out. Like, kind of, yes. I would suggest doing that. Yeah, the Wii should have emphasized more first-person. There's a lot of things the motion controls could have done if they actually thought about it more. I guess they kind of do that with the Switch now, depending on whatever the fuck you want to do. But they've wisened up where it's just like, make it an option. Especially with the Skyward Sword remake. Or remastering, where it's just like, okay, make a controller possible instead of making them waggle every time we need to lift the sword to open a freaking door. Or just all sword fighting. Yeah, all the combat is Wii focused. Yeah. At least it makes sense to do like fishing with it. It's like, okay, I'm going to fish with the Wiimote. Here comes my fishing. Isn't my blood scourge around here somewhere? My piece? Where's my missing? Oh, there it is. I found my missing piece. Just kill everything and grab it. And then I can tell you about how the blood scourge works. Actually, I'll tell you right now. Just a moment. Alright, so it looks like that. Anyway, you shoot out these two blood projectile things, and then they kind of attempt to turn and do a bit of homing. It kind of has the homingness of... I want to say it's almost similar to how a Revenant in Doom 2 shoots homing missiles at you. It kind of homes in that way, where it's not exact, but it kind of just swirls around. And the more chances you give to hit something, the more it will, so... There's a particular pattern to it. It works better if they're in a line, for sure, but... Yeah, it depends. Make sure all the enemies are relatively near each other, in at least a domino-like fashion, I guess. We can try it right here if you want. You can at least kill a single enemy that way. And you know I'm going to use that on bosses, so... But... Unfortunately... How much mana did that just... That used 15 mana per? Yeah, that's kind of expensive, so... Yeah. It ain't no fucking Wraith Purge, I'll tell you that. Oh well. It can't all be winners. Winners don't use frogs. That's what Apogee's fights told me. Yeah. Hey, Epic, could you make more Jazz Jackrabbit? Thank you. No. Please. By the way, hasn't it been like 10 years and people are still playing like Fortnite and Minecraft? Like, I think even most people that played it with their children have become adults by now. I don't know. I just have a hard time people playing the same game constantly and without experiencing the rest of the world. But that's the world we live in now, where people only play a single game and never talk about anything else. It's always it's Call of Duty this, it's what's that? It's Valorant that, it's PUBG this, Fortnite that. It's like, yes, great. Whenever you look up like personals where people want to play games and stuff, it's like it's always the same 10. I'm like, there's other games that exist. There's even other new games that exist. Never mind the old ones. There's plenty of new ones out there. You're a nutter, butters. So, I feel like that's an old hat discussion to have, but since I haven't had it yet on this channel, I'm obligated to do it. Well, not obligated. I'm allowed to do it at least once. See you next time.